What's up, party people? My name is Daryl Wilson, and today I'll be showing you all how to optimize your WordPress website using the Rank Math SEO plugin. But first, what is the Rank Math SEO plugin? The Rank Math plugin allows you to index and optimize your WordPress website in the Google search results. With Rank Math, you can optimize every page and post of your website and display it how you want in the search engine. Plus, by the end of this video, your website will be fully optimized for all major search engines and will be all ready to go. First, I'll be showing you how to configure Rank Math on your website with optimal settings for Google. I'll go through each setting and explain it like a beginner so you'll understand these terms like a robot text file and also a Google sitemap, so don't worry. Second, I'll be showing you how to submit your website to the Google Search Console, which basically tells Google your website is alive. Then I'll show you how to submit your sitemap, which basically tells Google to start crawling your website and help your visitors understand what your website is all about. And lastly, I'll be showing you all how to display your website in the Google search results. So you've noticed when you go on Google, you've seen websites with these titles and these descriptions. Today, I'll be showing you how you can add this to your website so you can display your website content the way you want in the Google search results as well. Now today in this video, I'm going to take a website that has never been optimized for Google, and by the end of this video, it will be fully optimized and ready to go for all major search engines. So I'll walk you through on how to do this today step by step in this Rank Math tutorial. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started, guys. All right, so I'm gonna take my Amazon affiliate website here. It's boring, you need some friends, and we're gonna optimize it with Rank Math. Now on the top left, we'll go to dashboard, right? And then plugins, add new, right? Plugins, add new. And we're going to install a free plugin that's going to optimize your website and verify it with Google and all that good stuff. Under the search plugins, you'll type in Rank Math. All right, and this is the plugin that we are going to use. It's called Rank Math SEO, best SEO plugin for WordPress. Ooh, all right. And then once you're here, you'll click on Install Now, and then you'll click on Activate. All right, and this is the setup wizard. Now, if it prompts you to make a new account, you can go ahead and click on Skip for Now, and it'll bring you to this page. Also, for some reason, if it did not start the wizard, here I'll go to Return to Dashboard really quick, just in case some users might have got lost. And under the Rank Math Dashboard Setup Wizard, that'll actually enable the wizard for you. So I know how people panic when they don't see the same screen. I get it. I've been doing this for a few years. I totally understand. So we have a few options here. Now I'm going to select Advanced because I want to go ahead and explain what the options are and what they do to your website, rather than just putting easy and then you having no idea what everything does. So click on Advanced and click on Start Wizard. Don't worry, it's not advanced. It's really, really simple. What is your website? So my website is a news site, a portfolio, a small business website. You're going to go ahead and select what kind of website represents whatever this is. So I'll just say, for example, this is a small business website. And okay, what kind of business is this? Well, I'm just gonna say that this is a professional service, right? I'm offering some sort of service, you know, I'm teaching people or I'm giving out SEO packages or whatever you're doing. So that would fit my criteria. What is the name of your company? Well, I'll just put Paddywhack. That's the name, Paddywhack. So next we have logo for Google. Now the logo for Google will display your logo on mobile devices. So it's actually pretty important that you add one to your website. So here I'll just click on Add New. And I will select this little star, little cute star there. Now also we have default social share image. So when someone shares this to their favorite social network like Facebook, what image do you want to display? Well, we can go ahead and put something else like Review Hub or whatever you want to display on the search engine, something that represents your business. And once you're done with that, you'll click on Save and Continue. So now it wants us to connect the Google services. However, we're going to skip this section because there is a much easier way to verify your information with Google. And this process actually is a little bit more complex. So we're going to skip this section for now. So right here, click on Skip Step. All right, cool, sitemaps. Now, what are sitemaps? Well, sitemaps are basically telling Google what you want and what you do not want indexed. And this is important, and this is probably one of the main reasons why we are using Rank Math. So you wanna make sure sitemaps are enabled. You do want it to include images. And here we have public post types. So we have my posts, my pages, my product reviews, and landing pages. So next I have public taxonomies. Now, if there's something with like a page builder or like a elements or library templates, you don't need to have that indexed. However, for my specific website, I want to make sure that both of my categories are indexed because I'm actually using a custom post type. So if you are using a custom post type, sometimes it will display here and you can have those indexed as well for the search engines. But if it's something like a page builder template library, or if it's something that does not need to be indexed, I would not click on the checkbox. All right. And once you have made these settings, you will click on Save and Continue. Piece of cake, right guys? Piece of cake. All right, cool. So now let's talk about SEO tweaks. Now, RankMath did a pretty good job here at with these settings. So the first one is no index for tag archives. You know, you don't really care about tag archives. It's really not useful and it's really not important for Google search engine. The next one is the no follow external links. Now, checking this box will make all of your links do not follow. I would not do that because generally gambling websites, gaming websites do that, and it's not a good practice for SEO, so I would make sure that is not on. And then here you have the open external links in new tab window. This is totally optional. This means that when someone clicks on a specific link, it'll open up a new tab instead of actually taking them away from your website. So yeah, leave that checked if you want, or you can check it off. It's really up to you. And once you're done with that, you'll click on Save and Continue. All right, awesome. It says our website is ready, but it's almost ready. It's almost there, guys. Don't worry. So here you have the Setup Advanced options. Go ahead and click on Setup Advanced options. So here we have a role manager, and a role manager is essentially assigning roles on your WordPress website for certain users to have specific roles. So for example, the editor can do the 404 monitor logging. They can handle redirections. They can handle the sitemap settings. An author can do any of these and so on and so forth. This is primarily useful for content writers. So if you have content writers, you want to make sure that the authors have something like on-page analysis available and maybe even the on-page advanced settings. And I would leave all of these like this because generally authors need to have control and flexibility over what they're writing. So the on-page analysis is very important for authors. And then you can kind of get the idea here with these other rules. And here I will click on Save and Continue. All right, cool. A 404 monitor. Yeah, let's turn that on. So a 404 monitor will actually let you know if your visitors or search engines are getting 404s. This can be useful to finding out if there are pages on your website with dead links, because if there's dead links or if there's a page that used to exist and you deleted it, RankMath will notify you about that. Also here we have redirections. Now redirections can say, okay, well, we'll set up temporary addresses if you have a lot of 404. So essentially you can redirect people from those 404s. And in case you don't know what 404s are broken pages. So it's a page with a broken link, nothing's there. All right, cool, got it. All right, awesome. Let's click on Save and Continue. Next, we have schema markup, and this is where RankMath kind of shines. Now, schema markups are basically rich search results, and those are displayed in the Google search results. Let me give you all an example. So here I typed in the best multivitamins for men, and we have this rich search result. So we have this featured snippet of the best multivitamins for men, and it just structures our content and our information very nicely for Google so users can navigate it and read it very simply. Also on my website, darrellwilson.com, you guys can see I wrote an article about a WordPress theme called Massive Dynamic, and they felt the content was very relevant, so they put it in a featured snippet here, and you guys can see it's very easy for users to read, and it's on top of the search results. So that's why you'd want to implement schema markup on your website so you can have rich search results just like that. Going back to our page, so we want to make sure this is on. And schema type for posts. So generally you want to select this as an article, right? So your posts are your articles. Now scrolling down, we have the schema type for pages, and by default, we're just going to leave it article as article. Now it's very important to let you know that these are custom post types. So for example, when you install plugins or WordPress themes, generally plugins, you will get custom post types, and these custom post types will display and RankMath will recognize them. Now for the schema type for landing pages, we're gonna select none. Now you probably don't have anything here, but if you have Elementor, I'm gonna select none because I don't really want my library being indexed, or it doesn't really make sense in that specific case. However, I have a schema type for product reviews, and this is perfect for my Amazon affiliate website. So I want to make sure that I select article, and this is a blog post. So I am writing a review on specific products. So I want to make sure that Google knows this, and I want to just increase my chances of having some rich snippets appear in the search results. And once you're done with that, you'll click on Save and Continue. All right, cool. So this is the actual dashboard, and you can see how Rank Math has a lot of different custom post types where you can index them, and then you can kind of practice your SEO with all of these different options and stuff like that, where they have Google Web Stories and WooCommerce. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one because obviously many of you aren't using BuddyPress, many of you aren't using BBPress. However, I will select under the image SEO, I will turn this on, and there are some settings I do want to discuss about that. Now, on the left side, you'll see your dashboard, and this is, again, the dashboard right here. Next, we have Analytics. Now, on your own time, you can create your Rank Math account, and you can connect it with Rank Math, and that can be something that you want to do, but I will do this last in the video. So next, we'll go to General Settings. All right, so let's get started. We have the first option here of Strip Category Base. You want to leave this off, and if you do change it on, you usually can't go back because then you'll get a bunch of 404 errors. Essentially, what this does is stripping out the category of the URL there. Personally, I don't think it's a big deal, and I don't really think it's a big deal for SEO either. In fact, I think it has absolutely no relevance to SEO. A lot of these options we already kind of messed around with earlier. You can tell that we actually went through these options. So these are the same exact options as the Setup Wizard had. So next we have breadcrumbs. Now, due to everyone having different themes and everything, I will not be going over breadcrumbs just because sometimes themes cannot handle breadcrumbs, and if your theme is not compatible, it could break. So sorry guys, I'm skipping breadcrumbs for this tutorial. So first we have images. Now this is actually kind of important, and I'll explain what these do. Now here we have the first one is add missing alt attributes. So this will basically add the alt attributes for images without the alt attributes automatically. So for example, when you have an image in your library, you can see here how the alternative text is gone. Now, this is actually good to have for Google because have you ever gone on Google and actually searched for something like that? These products right here are usually displayed because people insert the alternative text on their images. So that's why having alternative text is important, because maybe your images might be displayed in the Google Images and then maybe someone will find your website. So you want to make sure that you always have alternative text on your images in your media library. And adding this on, you'll see that Rank Math will do this for you automatically. However, it will only go ahead and do it based off the file name or the site title, site description. So I think good SEO practices, you should probably do this yourself every time you upload an image. But if you're lazy, you can go ahead and leave that on. That's strictly up to you. Now we also have add missing title attributes. Now I think they might actually retire this because by default, when you upload an image to WordPress, they automatically title it now. So I would not have that checked. And yeah, that's the end of it. So once you're done with that, you'll click on Save Changes. Now we're going to verify our website with Google. Now remember earlier how I talked about there was one way to verify your website and it was complicated? This is a lot easier. Now there is a link in the description to create a Google Search Console account. It's completely free and it should look something like this. So this is Google Search Console, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add my website and then I'm going to verify it with Google. So over here, if I click on this, now this is actually a depreciated Google page. So the Webmaster Central, they're turning it into the Google Search Console. So you can verify it this way. You can double click on this, copy it, and then you can actually paste it here. However, you need to actually create the property first. So let's do that. Over here under the Google Search Console, I'll go over here and click on Add a Property. Now right here we have we have domain and we have URL prefix. Now I've seen videos where they do it with the domain, but guys, this is super complicated. And all you need to do over here is just copy and paste something. It's way easier. So for the URL prefix, you'll type in your domain name, right? Mine is darylsworld.com, right? It's like Bobby's World. You guys remember that? Remember that cartoon, Bobby's World? That's where I got the idea from. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and verify this property. All right, now Google's saying, okay, well, we need to make sure that this is your website. So can you actually copy and paste the HTML tag? Sure. Right here we have other verification methods. So click on HTML tag, right? And we're gonna copy that. And that's it, copy and paste, done. All right, so go back over here and I will paste that into the Google Search Console. Now, all it really needs are these letters right here, but if you just paste the whole thing and click on save, Rank Math will actually take it out for you. So yeah, they're awesome. So go to the bottom and then type in, or click on Save Changes. Type in Save Changes, silly me. There we go. So now you'll see how it has that information up there, right? It's stripped all the code away. We just have the code. Now over here, close that, that's annoying. Over here, now that we've actually put that in, we just need to go ahead and say, all right, let's go ahead now and verify. So click on Verify. Fingers crossed, hopefully this works. Moment of truth. All right, so now you can see the ownership is verified. Now what this is going to do, this is going to tell you about your website, your impressions, broken links. This will give you a lot of information about your website. So right here, just click on Done. And that's it, guys. You're all set. You're all ready to go. Now on the top right here, you'll see we have the actual domain. Where is it at? There it is, Daryl's World, silly me. And it'll take a day or two to get all the information about your website, so just be patient. But it is now verified with the Google Search Console. All right, congratulations. That was a lot easier, right? You know, instead of going through the DNS settings and all that stuff. Now, next we have the robot text file. Go ahead and leave this blank, all right? Leave this standard. Do not mess with the robot text, not unless you are a professional like me, all right? Next we have others. All right, next let's talk about RSS feeds. So RSS feeds are essentially websites like Google News or Feedly, where they kind of pull information and they categorize them. So for example, you can see how under the Google News, a lot of these websites are coming up, and this is all done by pulling information and then taking that information and giving them to users who are interested in that specific information. So we'll go ahead and put in some information here for the RSS before and after. Now for the RSS after content, the developer actually recommended something like this, where you would put in your, this post link was first appeared on the blog link and is written by the author link. So it's just basically saying this is first available on my website and was written by me. Now for the RSS before content, what we're gonna put is the blog link here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and copy this. So we want to let them know about our website, who wrote it. Next, I want to put in the featured image, like that. And this can actually help get you traffic, because this will help RSS feed readers determine if this content is relevant for their readers or not. And then we have post link. And I'll display that right there like that. And there you go. And I believe that's the optimal settings. Some people can debate whether this is true or not, because that's what people do on the internet. But essentially, this are the optimal settings to my best knowledge. And once that's all done, I will click on Save Changes. All right, cool. So we have we're going to skip this one. We don't need this. And then we have the 404 monitor. Now, this is actually just going to tell you about the 404s. Pretty simple. So next we have redirections, and we'll come back to this a little later in the settings over here. And then that's pretty much it for the general settings. So congratulations, you guys have your website fully optimized at this point. Now let's talk about titles and meta, and I'll explain what all of these are. So first we have the global meta. Now we want to leave this as indexed because we want our website to be indexed. Again, a lot of these options are what we used to mess with earlier, so we're just going to leave that checked. Now this is purely preference. You can have your post title as a little thing like that or like this, but I think most people just use this separator, but again, that's really up to you. Maybe even this dot might be cool because that kind of stands out, but at the same time, I'm not really sure. That's really up to you. Here we have capitalized titles. You can choose to have a capitalized title or not. And these other options, we have already set these, and this is the Twitter card type, where a summary card will be shared with a large image. So when they share it to Twitter, they will see the image of your website, which we set earlier in the video. All right, so I'll click on Save Changes. So next we have local SEO, and go ahead and fill all this out about your company. This is actually very important because when you're searching for a specific business or address, you might notice sometimes how there's those rich snippets, and there's very good chances that if you put all the information about your website or your business, that it'll display really nicely in the search results. All right, next we have authors. Now, if you have several authors, make sure to enable this. However, if you are only one person writing on your entire website, you should disable that because this will actually avoid duplicate content issues. Sometimes in the world of SEO, guys, the author archives and the actual posts can create duplicate content. And if Google finds out that that happens, even though it's an accident, they will go ahead and penalize you and put you on page like 300. So just make sure that if you are only writing for your website yourself, to disable that. And if you are writing with various authors, then you should enable that. and I will click on Save Changes. All right, let's go to MISC pages. So this is pretty much preference at this point. Right here we can see we have this specific title. So just depending on how you want your 404s displayed, I mean, hopefully we won't have any 404s. So that means if you have broken pages on your website, they will display like this in the search results. But you might want to get rid of that site name just because it just looks really aggressive, just page not found or something like that. Next, you have these search results, and for this, you can display something a little nicer in the search engine. So let's say, for example, someone's searching for something and it's available on your website. You can put something like results for search query. You can have the page on here and then have a separator, and then you can have your name of your website. So that's the optimal way. Now that's again opinion, but I believe that this actually looks pretty good. So this would say something like results for the product on page this, and then your website. So next we have these other options here. No index search results, we're going to leave that checked. No index for paginated page. Again, we don't really want archive pages indexed too much because that can cause duplicate content. So make sure these are all off. Now, I think you should actually have this checked because if you are running like a membership website where you have pages and posts protected, you don't want that available on the search engine because you want people to pay for that content, right? So you want to make sure that's no indexed, and then you would go ahead and click on Save Changes. So next we're going to talk about posts, and posts are very debatable. There's a lot of people that have their own opinions, and I'll go ahead and give you some examples of how you can display your posts in the search results, and you can let me know what you think about them in the comments below. So for example, let's say you type in iPhone reviews. Now I found this article right here of Wired, and we can see best iPhone, they have the current year, and then they have the title of the actual article. Now, if I click on this, you'll see that the title is completely different. Now, a good strategy, what a lot of people do for reviews is they always leave in the month or the year. And you can see on my reviews, I do the same. So I have current month, current year, separator, and then the title of the actual website. Now, the reason why people do this is because when you're looking for updated reviews, you want to have like something like 2021, right? I mean, they probably wrote this article probably a year ago or 6 months ago, but when viewers are actually seeing the 2021, they believe that the content is fresh and it's new. So a lot of people like to put the current year when they're writing reviews. So for my specific website, I have title, current month, current year, and then the actual website name. So you can see how I did that right here. So going back to this SEO titles and meta, now let's just say, for example, you're writing a specific blog post and you don't really care about the year. For example, right here, this is another article that I wrote, and we have the top 5 best Divi theme plugins that kick ass. And then here we have the actual, we just have the title, the separator, and then the site name. So these are the same exact options of what Rank Math offers. So title, separator, site name. So if you want to go ahead and add something to that, you would go ahead and click on this checkbox, and you can add something else. So for example, maybe current year, right? So this would be title, separator, site name, and then current year. So it just really depends on what you're writing about, and you can see how this example comes up. So if you're writing something like a review, I would go ahead and put the current year, and if you want to get more aggressive, you could even put the current month as well, and then update it every month. And if you're writing something like a blog post, then you can leave it like this. But remember, you can always optimize every post in the settings when you're creating the blog post. Now here we have the single post description. You can leave this as excerpt. So excerpt will essentially take relevant information about your post and it'll display it in the search engine. However, for every post that you create, you should always create your own post description, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Here we have the schema type, which is article. Now for the headline, SEO title sounds just about correct. And then for the SEO description, we're going to leave that right there. And for the article type, we've already messed around with these settings before. So at this point, these are all just relevant, and we've already kind of messed around with all these options. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the post. There is a lot of strategy for the posts and how to display them in the search results. And there's really no right or wrong way on how to do it. It just really depends on what you're writing about. You can see that for each specific kind of blog post, you might want to change it for each specific title, because I like this title right here, the top 5 best Divi theme plugins, and then separator, site name. And then this right here, I do like it. You have the best iPhone for 2021. And then they have like the little title after that. So the year, you can see a lot of people are putting in the year because again, they want people to realize that it's fresh content and they want to get the clicks. So there is some strategy with posts, guys. There's a lot of strategy behind it. So now let's talk about pages. Now, generally for pages, guys, you should be doing the SEO for your pages. Don't rely on the plugin, because the plugin is just going to pull whatever information they find, and you want to make sure that your content looks really good for your homepage. So you want to make sure that you do all of these manually, and I'll go ahead and give you an example of that a little bit later in the video. But for all these options, I would leave them all standard. They are all default and they're all pretty good. So I'll click on Save Changes. Next, let's go to attachments here. So we have attachments. Now remember, we've configured attachments to redirect to the actual post, so that's all done. Now these right here are going to be post types. So remember, custom post types. So landing pages, we don't even have that indexed, so we don't really care about this. For product reviews, this is going to be a review. So I should actually put something like title, separator, site name, maybe even put the year at the end and also the month if I want to do that. So here, I'll go ahead and just grab this, and I will find the year. Let's see, the current year. So this will be the title of the product, and maybe I can even just put, maybe I can even just put the current year. Maybe they don't even need to see the actual site name because these people are interested in buying the product, right? So that again is just preference, but you can see how I have put my reviews: title, current month, current year, and then website name at the end. So at that point, it's strictly preference, but that's just what I prefer. I think something like the year, having it there, is just telling people that it's fresh content. And then we've already set all this up. So what I'll do is just go to the Save Changes. Next, let's click on the post categories. Now let's talk about categories. Now, I'm a very strong believer in not having your archive pages or your category pages indexed by Google, because this can result in duplicate content issues. And quite frankly, it's just not worth it to have it indexed. So what I'll do here is under the category archive robots meta, I will click on that. And I want to select this as no index. Okay, so by doing this, you are on the safe side. And if your website does produce duplicate content, that's no problem because it will not be indexed, so you will not get penalized by Google. So make sure you have no index on for your archive and your category pages. So I'll go ahead and scroll down and click on Save Changes. And then lastly, we have tags, and we're going to do the same thing for tags. So you want to make sure you have the tag archives robots meta on, and you want no index for those as well. And then once that's done, you'll click on Save Changes. All right, so enough of this boring stuff. Let's go ahead and add a sitemap to our website. So click over here under Sitemaps on the left side. So now that we've actually set all the directions for Google, we will now take this sitemap and we will add it to our Google Search Console. So I'm going to take this and right click. And remember the Google Search Console? Remember this? Yep, we got to go back to this. So go ahead and find your domain, right? Daryl's World. And on the left side, you're going to see Sitemaps. Go ahead and click on Sitemaps. Now add a new sitemap. So what you're going to do is right click and paste, and then delete all of this just like that. So just copy and paste exactly what I did. It should look just like this, and then click on Submit. And congratulations. So the sitemap has been submitted successfully. It's kind of a tongue twister. So essentially what this is doing, these are the directions for Google. It's basically telling them what to index and what not to index. And you can see here we have the success little button or the success text, and that tells us that our website has been successfully submitted. So these are other options right here. I already talked about all of them. So at this point, guys, your website is fully optimized for Google and your website is now ready to go. So at this point, your website's fully optimized. Now there is one big thing we need to do last, and that's the Google Analytics. So I'll show you how you can integrate Google Analytics and the Google Search Console onto your website. So right here, if I click on Analytics on this little red dot, you'll see it says Connect Google Services. However, before we do this, we need to actually first create a Google Analytics account. So I'll put the link in the description of this video to start your Google Analytics. And it should say something like this. So what you'll do is click on Start Measuring. So go ahead and give your account a name. And this can be something like your website name. So this will be Daryl's World. Now here we have all the information that I want to have checked. So I'll say, sure, why not? Click on Next. Give it a property name. I'll put Daryl. And then your time zone, your currency. I'll click on Next. How many employees? It's just me. And what kind of industry are we in? I don't know. What is this industry? We'll just do services or something like that. I'll just do other. And then here, how do you intend on using Google Analytics for your business? And then right here, measure customer engagement, or you can put whatever you want to put on here. And then I'll click on create. So you have to accept the terms and conditions. So guys, they change this all the time. So, you know, if this looks different on your screen in like a few months, I'm sorry, but they tend to change this a lot. So I'll say I accept, and I also accept, and then click on I accept. All right, so now it's asking us to choose a platform. So this is gonna be web. And then here is the URL of your website. So I'll put www.darrellsworld.com, and then just put, you know, Darrell's World, just to give us some information of what property is being indexed, and then click on create stream. All right, cool. So now they're basically asking us how we're gonna verify our information, and we're actually gonna use Rank Math to actually index all this for us. So what I can do is I'll go ahead and copy this. I might need this later, I'm not sure yet. So I'll go ahead and close this. And now we have Darrell's World right here. Let's go back to our website, and now we're going to connect to Google services. So now we can see we have the same email address. Make sure it's the same email, guys. If you have multiple accounts, you need to make sure it is the same email that you're using, or else it's going to pull up information from a different account. These are actually from my other YouTube channels in different languages. So here I'll click on Darrell Wilson Hosting at Gmail. I will click on allow, allow, and allow. So here they're just saying, all right, we're going to see and download your Google Analytics data. So you want to make sure these are all checked. I'll scroll to the bottom and click on allow. All right, so it brought me back to this page, and for the Google Search Console, I want to select Darrell's World. Now for my analytics, I could not get the property to display, so I think there might have been something wrong with the plugin, or there might be some error. I did create 3 different properties, however, the plugin's just having a hard time trying to find the properties. So if this does happen to you, I'll go ahead and show you a quick fix on how to display Google Analytics onto your dashboard. So here I have the actual Search Console information and then the analytics. I'll scroll down and click on Save Changes. Now there is a plugin created by Google, so if this does happen to you, I'll show you how you can still add Google Analytics onto your WordPress website. Now, not really sure why that is, but I'll just go ahead and just walk you through on the other plugin. So go to Plugins and Add New, and you'll type in Google. All right, and this is the plugin. It's called Google Site, or Sitekit by Google. Go ahead and click on Activate. All right, and right away, it'll say Start Setup. So this plugin is created by Google, and you can also use this to get your analytics available on your dashboard. So click on Sign In with Google. I will click on Darrell Wilson Hosting. I'll click on Allow. All right, next I'll click on Allow again and go to my dashboard. We are all set up, we are all done. So now you'll see the Search Console is now activated, and you can also install AdSense and PageSpeed Insights as well from your dashboard. So it's a very popular plugin, and it's created by Google. So here we have Analytics. Go ahead and click on Connect Service. Here I'll click on my account. Same thing again, guys. So grant permission, yes, allow. I will click on Allow. All right, congratulations. Our website is now finally connected to Google Analytics. Now, if I go back to my analytics page right here and I click on the properties, you'll see how Darrell's World right here appears. And if I want to get information, I can click on it and view all website data. Now, this information will automatically propagate right here. So just give it like a few days to collect some information, and then all your information about your Google Search Console and your visitors will be displayed right here all the time. All right, guys, in this section, I'll be showing you how to optimize your pages and posts using Rank Math. Now, what do I mean by optimizing your pages and posts? Well, for example, you can see my URL right here, darrellsworld.com. And if I go to Google and search for my domain, you guys can see it has this text and all this nonsense. So we want to optimize it for Google to make it look something more relevant to our website. You can see an example of my website where we have my website name, the separator, and then some description about my website. So I am making free WordPress tutorials. So I really want to let people know that I am making free WordPress tutorials, right? So create your WordPress website step by step for free. Join thousands of people creating websites, no paid courses, just free WordPress tutorials. So I give a very clear, concise text about what I am doing and what my website is all about. So you should do this for every single page that you have. Personally, I wouldn't rely on the plugin. I would manually do it for each page that you create. So let's go ahead and do that. So for your first page, what you'll do is click on Edit Page. Now you'll have to do this for every page, and you want to do this just to make sure that it looks optimized and it looks good in the search engines. Whoops, I forgot my password. So when you edit your pages, on the right side, you'll see this rank math. So you'll see this general tab, you'll see the score, and then you'll see this advanced, you'll see the schema, and then you'll also see this sharing. So what you first want to do is you want to just go ahead and change the snippet here. So let's click on Edit Snippet. So here you'll see I have the title, the separator, and the site name. Now you guys can make this custom. You can change this to however you want. There are also other little settings right here on how you can change it, maybe site description or whatever else you want to put. However, in the general settings tab of your WordPress, here you'll find the actual site title. So this is the site title, and this is what's going to display when you put the site title in Rank Math. Now, I personally have done something like site name, separator, and then I added my own description. You know, I didn't want to just go ahead and use something, you know, from my text. I wanted to actually write it manually. So this is the editor on how you would edit every single specific page or post. Now here you can see we have the title as title, separator, and site name. Now we don't need title to display. We don't really care if people see the home page. So I want to go ahead and get rid of that right away. Now also we have this separator, so I don't really need this either. So what I'll do is I will cut that. And now we just have the site name. Now your site name will actually be in the general settings. And if you go to site title, this is your current site name. So just update that and then go ahead and save it, and that would be your current site title. So going back over here, I have my site name, which is correct. Now I want to go ahead and paste this here. Oops, go ahead and put in those little dollar, or I don't know, those number signs, and then put a space. So we have the site name, separator. Now I actually want to put in manual text because I don't want to rely on the plugin to actually make the actual description of my website. I want something more custom. For example, on my website, you guys can see home of the free WordPress tutorials. So I want to do something like home of the free drone review website or drone review product or something more relevant. So people will know right away what my website is all about. So home of the best drone reviews, right? And this would be the name of the website. So I should probably change that to something like darylsworld.com, right? That would make a little bit more sense. Just Daryl's World like that, and then save changes. And then this will always update as the SEO kicks in. So here we have the permalink, and then we have some description. So here I'll go ahead and copy and paste some text that I prepared. So here we can see the best website for honest drone reviews, comparisons, and buyer's guides to help you pick the best drone for your budget and needs. So it's very straight to the point, you know, drone reviews, comparisons, finding the best drone. So you can see how we actually have the keyword in our description, and we also have drone reviews as well. So we're just basically letting people know what our website is all about. So at this point, I think this is actually good. Now also we have the social, and you can actually put in a specific image right here by clicking on add image, and when people share that to Facebook or Twitter, that will display, and that would be whatever you want. We actually already set this in the general options, but you can always change it and adjust it as needed. So I will go ahead and click on close and click on update to save that. Now for your pages, generally you should always have this as indexed. These are pages, so you do want these indexed. You do want Google to know what your home page is about. Over here we have schema markup. Our schema is already in use, so if Google finds that our content is rich, it will display as necessary in the Google search results. Now remember guys, Rank Math can only influence Google, okay? It cannot tell them what to do. So Rank Math is going to influence it as much as possible to display the information on your websites. And then over here we have the social, which we just talked about, and that's it. So you'd want to go ahead and do this for every specific page so your pages display clear and concise information about what your website is all about. Now, I also wanted to note that Rank Math works really good for blog posts and blogs. However, in this specific video, I will not be covering blog posts with Rank Math because I'll be making a second video and I'll be giving you the ins and outs and all of the rules. There is a lot to cover when making blog posts, like how much content to write, alt text, interlinking, and ultimately it could take about another hour or so. I'll be making a whole second video on how to use the Rank Math SEO plugin for your blog posts. And when that is up, I'll go ahead and put that in the description of this video. Also be sure to subscribe, because you guys will actually know when I create that video. I'll try my best to work on it. I'm actually working on it as we speak, and when it's up, I'll go ahead and let you guys all know. So overall, guys, Rank Math is a very powerful plugin, and it can really help you get more traffic and optimize your website for all major search engines. Now, there is a pro version to Rank Math. Now, they do offer one for $59 a year, and they have another one for $199 a year. I do have a link in the description of this video to purchase it. If you guys do decide to buy the pro versions, I do make a very small commission from this company. And if you guys do want me to do a video on the WooCommerce, go ahead and leave me a comment below, because they do have a WooCommerce SEO pro version, and they do also have some other options. So if you do want me to do a video on the pro version, let me know in the comments below saying, hey, Daryl, you know, we like your feedback about what you said about the plugin, and we would like to see a pro version tutorial walkthrough. And I can go ahead and go through all of these options for the pro version. It's just different ways on how to enhance and how to basically increase and optimize your website for all major search engines like Google and Bing. So guys, I hope this video was really helpful. Make sure to like this video. I did spend a lot of time to really find out what the most optimal ways are for every single post. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And with that said, party people, I will see all of you guys in the next video. Take care.